So we pulled the rack all the way down with the winch cable all the way to here. We put a pin in the bottom here so the rack can't come out from the end of the things. We put the straps on and we left them loose like this because when I start winching forward, the rack is actually going to tip and lock into place. And at that point, then what I'm going to do, as soon as I start winching and the pressure's off this, I'm going to put a pin in here. Okay, so here we go. Everything else is good to go. We just have a screwdriver in here stopping the racks from coming all the way up. I could have used the pin. Doesn't matter. Okay, so now when the bike starts to get into the lock position here, I just want to take up the sock. Take up the sock of the rack. Now you can see the pressure is the bike is standing on its own. Okay, so the bike can stand on its own. Move this pin from the back up to the front. Push it in. Now the rack can lock in place. And it comes down and it locks. If you want to make sure it's locked, just back up a little bit and the bike doesn't come off. So this pin now comes out and the bike now is going to be sucked right up these ramps. The bike is locked in. The kickstand stays out. Pull that pin and winch the bike the rest of the way up. The bike will come up. Now it'll just take over. Gravity will take over once it gets a little further. And away it goes. And that's it. The bike will come down. Once the bike comes down, stop it at this position. And we're just going to make sure the chains at the front pulled out from underneath the racks. It just makes it easier when you're finishing loading it out. It's just to make sure that the rack goes all the way down. You just pull it out. Just like that. And that's all you do. Now you can do this, you can do the rest from the inside. You just stand up here, make sure you're clear, and winch the rest of the way in. You'll see the pins at the front. We'll go in and lock. Just like that. Pin in the front here. That locks the carriage. Can you just hand me a clip, please? Since I'm doing this right. And we put in a clip. Now the bike, the carriage can't move. We just come back here. The hardest part is being old, getting in on. And then the last pin that you put in is in the back here. Oops. I went a little too far, so I'll just bring it back a bit. I'll try to bring it back a bit. And you put this pin in the back here, lock it in place. The bike can't go nowhere. The bike is on the rack. Now you tie the bike down to the truck. And that's it for loading. The bike is loaded. 1,000 pounds, no problem. That's it for loading. We're ready to unload now?
Okay.
Okay. Okay. So the first thing on unloading is we have to pull the pin, this front pin. We don't pull the back pin because we want that rack locked tight. So the easiest way to find, I have found, because you have to manually pull the bike back because of course the winch doesn't go that way. So the easiest way I found, just climb up, go to the front of the bike. And And as you're winching out, just push back on the bike. Just like that. That way too, it keeps your cable tight. And once you get to a certain point, the bike is gonna want to tilt anyways. So you want to just get it back a little further. Just like that. Biggest thing is it keeps the winch cable tight, because you don't want it loosening off. Now the bike will take over and it starts going down. And you just let it, don't stop it. It ain't gonna go nowhere. It's just gonna come straight down. The cable's gonna take up tension.
Okay, you want to get the board under it?
Stop, I'll put a board under it just because the ground isn't even. If the ground was even, you wouldn't need a board. And it's just to bring the back wheel up so so the exhaust doesn't catch. That's it, just like that. Nothing, that's just for the exhaust. So the bike is sitting there, it ain't gonna go nowhere. You keep going down. Pull this pin now. That's the front pin for the cage. Pull that now, because now the cage is gonna come out. When the rack comes out a little more, I just stick a screwdriver up there to stop it. That's it. And now you just bring the bike all the way down. Kickstand is always out, always. If anything happens, the bike will have a tendency to go to the left. Don't have to hold it. When it gets down to there, just keep going. Whoop, whoop, sorry. Sorry, yeah, put a pin in the bottom. Got one step ahead of myself here. You have to stop you have to stop the cage from rolling out. That's all that's doing. Okay? It'll go down, it'll stop it. Put your foot on the thing, push it down. The bike is unlocked now. And there you go. The bike sits on the kickstand and it's done. The bike is unloaded. No more pressure on the winch. No more pressure on the bars. Everything is the way it should be. And that's all there is to it. Easy?
Easy peasy.
Easy. So you just got to remember the pin at the bottom and leave it in there until the bike is totally clear. And then you're going to bring. Actually, we'll move the bike out of the way and we'll load the rack just by the rack itself. Okay. So the tension, of course, now is on that side. This strap is loose. You just come over here. Come over here. Push. Take the strap, the tension off. There's hardly any tension in this, anyways, because the bike is already on the kickstand. Okay. Take the strap off. Now you can come over. You can see the bike is already sitting on the kickstand. It ain't gonna go nowhere, not now. And your other strap. These will be my straps for this job. Now I'll just get on the bike and I'll roll the bike back. Bike is unloaded. Okay, so let's load this thing up so that in the transport mode. So what you can do right now is you can actually lock this in. Oh, you can't.
It's on the board.
It's on the board. The second we'll just move it up a bit. We'll just take that like shovel. I've got a lot of tension on my rack. Pretty well the reverse procedure, except for now you don't have a bike on it. So you want to put the rack in there so that it locks it. And put it in there. Now this will just lock it in. The tension, there's already tension on the cable, so I'm not worried about the cable. There you go, it's locked in. You can pull this pin now. Bring it all the way up, the rack all the way up. When the rack gets to the top, it'll automatically lift it, and it'll just suck it in. So remember I was saying about the chains? So I'm going to suck it in a little bit, and then I'll just go up there and I'll kick the chains out of the way. And I'll take a pin with me so I can lock the rack when I get up there. I can do the rest of it in here. And all you do now is bring the rack the rest of the way in, because it's you'll see these pins here, they go underneath there. So we're almost there. There, see, that's it. And then we just lock the rack like that. Now this can't move, and it's holding it in. And we put one more pin in the back here. Just make sure it's lined up, the hole's lined up. If it's not, you might have to let it out just a touch, because it does, it sucks it right in. So, and of course it is a hydraulic winch. So there you go, just like that. Put in your pin. The rack is good for transport mode. And that's it. That's as easy as pie. 2 bolts holding the cage or the rack into the back of the truck. Just the straps holding it in the back, and that's just to keep it from going that way or that way. And this is just the protector for the tailgate, because I didn't want the cable running on. Just something I made. 5,500 pound winch.